My name's Danny Davis. I'm 65 years of age. I'm a candidate for Haywood County Commissioner. I've lived in Haywood County all my life. Went to Tuscola High School here. Graduated from Western Carolina University. My wife, Ann, is a lifelong resident of Haywood County. We have two children, Patience and Madison, and I'm running to move Haywood County forward in a positive way. Well, I would hope that our infrastructure, which I'm extremely interested in, would be a little farther along. I think the commissioners have made, great strides in improving our infrastructure, but we're still behind. And so I would hope that if I'd been here, there would have been a lot more emphasis put on infrastructure like water and sewer, high-speed internet, and natural gas, so that we can have the kind of infrastructure that we need to bring good paying jobs to this county again. Well, the biggest priority, and one of the things I've seen here when I've been here all my life, I mean, I was a judge for 27 years and then emergency judge for another couple of years. So I've been in the legal profession for 39 years. But one of the things I've seen here is all of our children, we educate them and they have to move elsewhere to get a good paying job. So I would like for our children to not only be able to be born here, but live here and work here again, like it used to be. We've lost lots of manufacturing jobs. And so I think infrastructure, education, and jobs all go together. I would never say belonging to one party or the other is a bad thing. I think the approach sometimes that they take is not the approach I would take. For example, at the forum the other night, I think the consensus of the candidates on the other side was that you just kind of let nature take its course. And when I say that, I think they're not as concerned about infrastructure and the government being involved in infrastructure as maybe I am, and maybe the other candidates on the Democrat side are. And my answer to that is private enterprise has been responsible for high-speed internet in this county, and that hadn't worked out real well. We have the sorriest high-speed internet in the state, and it's private enterprise. So I'm not against private enterprise, but sometimes the infrastructure has to be in place so that private enterprise can move it forward even more. And I think it depends on what your priorities are. I think we need to, when I'm talking about infrastructure and priorities, I think we need to sit down and figure out where we want to go and do some planning, some strategic planning, so that without having to raise taxes or do those kind of things, you might have some money available to do what I'm talking about partnering with private enterprise. And so you might want to use some of that fund balance to do that with. But I think we've got to sit down at the table and decide where we want to go, and then decide how much the fund balance. I think the North Carolina Treasurer, recommends, I believe, 8% of your expenditures. Well, that's not a whole lot when things go south like in the economy sometimes. So I think Haywood County's got a fund balance, I'm not sure, of about 28, maybe 30% right now. So it's always good to have a fund balance, but it's also there in case you need to do some capital expenses or do some things that helps move your county forward. I'm not for spending money that doesn't help our county. So I want to spend money wisely and spend it on things that I think will have an economic impact, or that might help us out if the economy takes a downturn. We still have money there to pay the expenses. So to answer your question, I think we do need to be more cooperative with the municipalities, because I think a lot of the growth that's certainly going to come to this county, we're already seeing it. And I think a lot of that growth is going to come to the cities, and then it may start sprawling. So there's no doubt in my mind that there's going to have to be better cooperation between the county and the municipalities, especially about water and sewer. Well, what we were doing obviously wasn't getting the result that we wanted here. So I'm all for trying new things, and I think certainly partnering with a community like Asheville, as big as they are, helps. But I also, everything goes back to infrastructure. They can give us 10 leads for potential industries, but if we don't have the sites, and we don't have the shovel ready sites, we don't have the water, the sewer, the natural gas, we don't have all those things in place. Excuse me, we're in trouble. I mean, no matter how many people they send over here. So I'm willing to look at that and see how it does. But I think we have to do some things on our own too. I don't think we can just totally depend on Asheville. We got to look and see, what do we have to do, even if we get a lead, what do we have to do to be ready to not only have them come here and visit, but have them come here and build here and provide the kind of jobs that our children can maybe stay here and work here again, and good paying jobs. At least from my standpoint, I've had a career as an attorney and an assistant district attorney, a judge for over half of my life. I've been the attorney general over with the Eastern Band, and so I have a lot of experience to bring to the table about moving the county forward, especially with infrastructure. And so, as a judge and a lawyer, you always look at the facts and the evidence, and you try to make a decision based on the best facts you have in front of you. So I think I bring that kind of experience. I think I bring a passion about our young people that a lot of people don't have, because as a judge, I've seen what happens to our young people. A job gives you a sense of self-worth. It gives you a sense of belonging to the community. A good, healthy economy includes not just tourism, and I'm not against tourism. It doesn't include just tourism, it includes young people working here again. That gives us a sense of community. It's a healthy community, and that's the kind of community I want to see here again, where we have young families here again, and we have good paying jobs, and we have a diversified economy, and we have those young people back here. That's the main reason I'm doing this, because I've seen so many of them just can't come back here, and it's a great place to live, and I want them to have that opportunity to come back here.